Welcome everyone to Rebelle Rally Live, presented by Toyota. This is your midday competition update. We are here at Pirates Cove, but most of the rally is down in Glamis. They're playing in the sand here on day 7. There are 2 days down in Glamis in the sand, and they will finish back here at Pirate Cove on the edge of Arizona here, still in Needles, California. My name is Matthew Johnson, and I'm sitting here with Chrissie Beavis, the Competition Director for the Rebelle. She's going to help carry us through some of the scoring that we should be aware of and how the teams are moving around in the sand. How's it going, Chrissie?
It's going good. It's really fun to watch them today, and I'm a little jealous that I'm down here, that I'm not down there, and that I'm up here. But it is a beautiful spot to be.
It is. It's wonderful here. My mom pointed out when I sent her a photo, you have palm trees on the river. It's pretty cool. Well, look, we're not going to keep you waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and jump out and look at some footage from the day today. We're going to be jumping back and forth the best we can to bring you the action from Glamis. All right, so we can see, I don't think I was correct in assuming that there had been some rain and that it was going to be easy driving conditions. I think I was wrong.
So no, it's also been very windy down there, and that
so
dries it right out.
It does. It dries it out. It also does what? Tell us about how wind impacts the dunes.
Well, the wind, when it changes around this time of year, really changes the shape of the dunes and makes them less reliable, and you end up with these razorbacks. So the teams are having to deal with that today. But as you see, there are areas of really deep sand, and like here, we've got kind of these open, flat areas, and those are going to be where some of those greens are and some of the easier to get checkpoints. But those X checkpoints, you guys, are out in the really big dunes that you see off in the distance there. Here they're driving along Sand Highway, which is kind of these edges of the dunes where they have to use these to get around the dunes, but then they get down into the deep dunes there.
Generally pretty reliable on Sand Highway, that you're not going to fall in some super soft stuff. So for driving in the soft, we haven't even talked about this year, but teams will be reducing their tire pressure. They'll be trying to get a bigger footprint up on the sand so the car is not digging down into the sand and getting stuck. So often tire pressures might be as low as 20 for a normal passenger car tire. Maybe on a lightweight vehicle, you might even be down to as low as 12 PSI or something more aggressive if you're on a big, heavy off-road tire.
Yeah, you can see them, though. They are having fun today. You know, some of these past days when they've just been driving down some of these washboard roads, they are going to be loving how silent and quiet it is when you're driving on the sand.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is. It's so smooth. We just saw a quick shot of 180. Sandra and Lauren. They were 5th yesterday on the day, one of our Toyota teams in that Sequoia. And then we were seeing one of the leading rookie teams, 117 there. I think there was a fun thing that you and I discussed right before camera came on. And I was telling Chrissie some of my tools to quickly get team names. And she says, I try not to worry about their names. I just call them by number. It's because it's not her job to make the folks show up at home to people that are the fans. It's Chrissie's job to run a fair event. And so she said to me, I don't want to know whose car it is.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's a couple that have slipped into my consciousness over the years, and I know which number is which person, but most of the time I'm just looking at their car number so that I can make unbiased decisions about what's going on with scoring.
Well, Chrissie, let's have a look at where they are on the tracker.
All right, so as they filed in here, this is this morning where they came in, and they are going to start, you're going to watch them here start to kind of file through and really get to one side or the other of the dunes. And so those that are going to that eastern side there, so you've got 188 over there, 150, 129, those are all the kind of those top players. Those guys are going for those X checkpoints. On the other side, they're going for the regular checkpoints, and then everyone that's over here going for those X checkpoints in the morning, they're going to end up over on this side. So that's about where they are now. So I'm going to kind of fast forward that so we can kind of see how that plays out here. but you really see those top teams going for those X checkpoints, going in and out, back in and out, and it's kind of funny how they're toggling in and out there just to go and find them, and using some of these washes that are pretty reliable for navigation to do that.
Emily, in her piece this morning, she talked about, is anyone going to connect the washes? Were they going to go from that X checkpoint, like up to the blue, up to the next black diamond? And clearly we didn't see that.
No,
even the top cars did not try to connect those. We call those the shitty dunes for a reason. They're really tough. You're faced with decision making that's coming faster than you can keep the car rolling sometimes to stay away from being stuck there.
That's right. And when she laid out the course, I know that she had laid it out in a way that they could connect these. And so that's one of the things that you find that as the rally director, she is always trying to kind of bring the teams into the dunes that she wants to drive in, and often they just go back out and use kind of these more traditional navigation techniques rather than those driver techniques of just kind of going through those dunes. So I know she's going to be bummed when she sees that no one connected all those
Took the
checkpoints.
bait and connected them.
I know.
Well, Alyssa's been out in the field today. Katy is also down there. We hope to hear from her as well, but I think we've got a piece from Alyssa from earlier.
I'm at checkpoint 10, which is checkpoint 10 for the A, B, and C groups. That means all the 4x4s, as well as the X-Cross competitors. All of their morning routes are going to converge right here at this green checkpoint. After a really long morning, we've seen a lot of the top teams come through, as well as a lot of the teams with drivers who are really comfortable driving in sand. Now, there's sort of two ways teams have been coming through here so far this morning. The first is, like I said, they're just quick. They're already at checkpoint 10. We've also had several teams come through who are at like checkpoint 8 or 9. They know that this flag is a known point on their map. So they're starting at here at checkpoint 10, and they're navigating back to checkpoints 8 and 9. And then they're returning here, clicking at 10, and then taking a moment, having some lunch, and making a plan for the rest of the day. Something else that's been really fun is seeing the teams, especially the teams with drivers who either don't have experience in sand or have experience driving dunes, but not here in Glamis. So the team 208 came through, Vincetta Knight and Madison Russell. And Vincetta said she's from Michigan. She spent a lot of time training in the Silver Lake sand dunes. But there's a point there where you can stand on the highest dune and you can see the perimeter of the entire park. And she asked me, where is that here in Glamis? Where in the Imperial Sand Dunes? Oh, there's not a spot, Vincetta, because she said when she came around 95 and was facing the Imperial Sand Dunes, her jaw just hit the floor. She could not believe she was going to have the opportunity to drive here. And they were one of the very first teams, the 208, to arrive here at checkpoint 10.
For the first time, and you really get the scale of them.
They're
it is
massive.
jaw-dropping.
They are so massive, and most people only see them from that highway that drives through the middle of them. And even then, when you're on the highway, you can't see to the end of the dunes.
Oh, no way.
They're all around you, and then you start to think, am I going to be stuck here forever?
Well, you get down in the middle of some of those dunes and can't see anything, and you're not even sure which way you came from. It could be really intimidating out there today. Speaking of, let's go check out Katy. She's with one of the Toyota teams as they're having a learning moment, let's say.
Okay, we've got our Toyota team here, the rookies. Sam on the camera is dying to tell them to back up. They've been trying to go forward. I think they're just taking a moment, and we're hoping they back up to get themselves out of this.
Everybody's been in this situation. So from camera, I believe you guys could see that vehicle was pointed uphill. But when the sun is directly above you and you're in the sand, it's not immediately obvious to be clear. Like I've thought I was going down something and I was getting stuck going up something. It's very tough to see what's up and down there. So yeah, hopefully that team did try to use reverse and let gravity give them a hand.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, it's such a cool situation. With all my years of driving before I ended up in the sand, I thought it would be easy, and it is a completely different discipline.
I do remember that.
Lots of fun there. So just looking at the overall ranking, we're going to have that living over there on the side. I believe, however, that we also have you. Alyssa had caught up with Emily Miller earlier. Let's see what Emily's got to tell us.
I'm with Emily Miller, the creator of the Rebelle Rally and the creator of this stage today. So, Emily, the competitors had a long transit. Then they got here to the Imperial Sand Dunes, and they immediately had a tough decision whether or not to go for those X checkpoints. What did you see developing early on about the teams that chose to go for those X checkpoints?
Well, the first thing that I saw is that a lot of teams wasted time. And the other thing that really surprised me is that 5X and 6X, our top teams struggled with. They know that area. But I also didn't put a checkpoint at some places that they normally expect for those checkpoints to be. They're in tough dunes, they're really soft right now, but I was really surprised that these teams didn't get them. And the other thing that I saw is that some teams I thought would go for the X checkpoints played it safe and went for the easier ones, or what we call the regular route. And the regular route doesn't necessarily mean it's that easy, because there's a little bit more distance between the checkpoints. There's also more black diamonds, but it's risk versus reward, right? And today is all about that, risk versus reward.
And so now we're at checkpoint 2. You see the the second green checkpoint, but checkpoint 10 behind you. And one of the twists that you revealed this morning, besides there being some blues and black diamonds maybe at spots that, or not being at spots they would expect, is that you erased Gecko Road from the maps. There's a specific way you wanted this game to be played today, and what have you seen standing here at checkpoint 10 about the way these competitors have reacted and responded?
Yes, what I've noticed is they're playing it the way I hope them to, which is removing Gecko Road. Force them to, instead of driving in and out, going over to Gecko Road, measuring where they are on the road, going back in, they're dead reckoning. They're taking a heading, they need a direction and a distance, and they're just standing out, taking the compass, looking at what the platform is out there, what are they going to drive, and then making that decision and doing a cap heading. That's what I wanted them to do. The second you bear off and you go like over to a road and your checkpoint's here, you're here, and you go that way, you're off heading. You're taking more time, more distance, more fuel, which is a big deal today, and there's more chance that you're not going to get it. If you stay on heading, you're going to be more successful. And I'm seeing that on the teams that are newer to this. So I'm seeing people go for it. And that makes me really happy. I didn't want to remove Gecko, but they can't help themselves. It's that easy handrail, so we just eliminated it. We didn't take out the entire safety factor. They know where it is. It's marked on a master map, but not every turn, so they can't measure it accurately.
Now, this is the first half of a long Dunes Day, and Dunes Day is the first half of the final marathon leg. It's a long competition, and this year it's even longer. How do you think that is playing into the mindset and just the endurance of these competitors?
Yeah, I think it's mindset, because technically the rally is barely any longer. What happened in the past is that we would do tech inspection in the morning, and then we'd do like a long transit to the first base camp. And then our prologue, so that would be a Thursday. And then on Friday we would do a prologue, but our prologues had gotten really long and they're not scored, so they were almost like a full stage. So what I did instead is I made the transit have a few checkpoints, have an enduro, and then that big long prologue now counts for points. It was interesting, I talked to competitors and they said, it's so much longer. It's technically not longer, but in their mind they said, you know what, mentally, it's longer. And that makes a difference, because as you know, this really comes down to your mental state. And right now they're tired. I mean, this is something we saw yesterday. I think people were tired. They had adrenaline rushes from that wild day 5, and they had really expended so much energy. Yesterday they started making some simple mistakes. Some had great days, some had really rough days. But that fatigue over time and then your mindset is all the difference. And that is what's going to happen now. You're going to see the competitors who are super mentally tough. I don't care how good their skills are. They're great driver, great navigator. Once their mental state kind of declines or they lose that edge, it's going to be interesting to watch. I hope they don't, because it's been so fun to watch. The scores are so close together, and I can tell you with the points on the game from this checkpoint here on out for the open, out of order checkpoints, the game is going to change.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens from this point out,
Yes.
and then also to get back with the competitors tonight at their self-camp spot here on Marathon 2 and on day 7 of the Rebelle Rally. Thank you, Emily, for taking some time.
Thank you.
Man, just the amount of planning that goes into Emily out here in the dunes. She spends so much time out there. In fact, probably in the next month, she's going to have some idea of something she wants to run, and she'll be back out at Glamis planning next season's Rebelle.
Yeah, she will be.
Well, if we go to Glamis next year,
knows?
she loves curveballs, and one of those could be just not going to Glamis next year.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We all love the dunes so much, I don't think we'll ever not go
Yeah,
there.
agreed. Well, we told you that today was brought to you by Total Chaos Fabrication. Total Chaos has been part of the Rebelle Rally since day one. They've supported the rally since 2016, providing support staff, media transportation, and assisting in the route and course scouting each year. I think Nicole Patel's logged over 50,000 miles out there with Emily, scouting the different routes. In fact, they were camping one night, a massive earthquake, that one that came through Ridgecrest a few years ago. They were on.
Emily and Nicole, yeah.
Right on it. And they've also served as the official media transportation and giving some joy rides to folks out in the dunes day. But your basics, if you don't already know about Total Chaos, they specialize in Toyota. They are handcrafted components made in the USA. They're designed to be serviceable, so you can invest in equipment that's built to last for a long time. They love sharing all the stoke of the sport of off-road with their customers. You're part of the family when you run their equipment. And every one of those employees drives a Total Chaos modified Toyota. So they're walking the talk.
They do, and they drive them well.
Yeah, indeed they do. All right, we've got some exciting stuff to bring to you now down from Glamis. Let's take another hit down there. We're going to see some video with car 129.
Yeah, we've zigzagged a lot, but hold on.
Okay.
Did you already click?
No.
Okay.
So here's the wall, the bubble.
I
pencil.
concur.
Okay.
I concur. Yes. Okay.
Clicking.
Yes. All right.
Wait, does it say 4?
4x.
Okay. Clicking.
Oh, 5x. It's interesting.
Okay, it's a black, so if you want to get pointed at 5x, I'll get you a heading.
Okay. It's north of us.
There's been no other trucks here.
I think there's tracks.
Okay.
No, you're right. That's interesting. There's dirt bike tracks. Dirt bike tracks. Look at. There's our tracks, and then look at Jimmy's dirt bike and footprints over to put the pole in. That's awesome.
Okay.
Ooh, we are the only tracks here. How exciting! Okay.
Heading to 5, it's a black.
Oh boy.
And it's back across the
following us. All right. What?
It's back across the valley.
Okay.
They have to follow us. This is their checkpoint. Okay.
But yeah. Now we have tracks.
5
Shelby and Rory.
is 3.5 degrees.
3.5. Okay. Oh, is this you?
Wow, inside the car, I mean, the number one thing that stands out to me, you could have your own piece here, but is the communication. There's just a lot of quick words back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Well, I also noticed they are having a really good time.
That's true, yeah.
They are having a good time, but you also notice that Terlin was checking and double checking. And she is just constantly at work in that vehicle. And if you noticed, she was about to signal, and then she said, "Oh wait, let's just check. That is 4. That's 4. Is it 4? Is it 4?" And Nina said, "Yes, it's 4x." So they are working as a really good team, and you can see that, and year after year and year with that team and how well they do. It's because of that communication. They're having a good time. You can tell that they really like it. Which a lot of teams, that kind of pressure and going back and forth like that can not work so well for them.
When you're new to an event like this, you've got so many personal concerns that kind of can get in the way of the competition. When you've got folks that are seasoned, they know, like, yeah, we didn't sleep great last night, but it's not the end of the world. It's fine, whatever, let's compete.
Right.
And some of the newer folks are still kind of like stuck in different things that are going on in the background. Susan Piper said in an interview the other night, this was not just a navigational rally. It was a driving competition. It's a camping competition. It's a teamwork competition.
That's
it's
right.
all these competitions bound into one to make the Rebelle Rally.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have all of your stuff together, and you have to really, really kind of plan for every aspect of the whole event.
Well, when you do really well at that, there are awards. We'll have a look. So you've got your normal class podiums for 4x4 and X Cross, the top 3 scores in those. We have our daily stage winners, which we can see different days. Some folks that have been kind of living a little bit lower in the top 10 jump right up to the top and have a really good navigational day. And then Rookie of the Year. So far today, that's actually what I've been looking at is the competition between vehicle 117 and 116. They've both been like right there. They're close enough that in the next 2 days that option could switch back and forth. So we've got some special awards as well. The Bone Stock Award. This is the one we're all like really proud of, that you don't have to show up here in a modified vehicle.
That's right.
Right? You can grab the vehicle out of your driveway. If you're a good driver and you have patience with your vehicle, you can come and win the Rebelle Rally in a bone stock vehicle.
Well, that also depends on the manufacturer of the vehicle as well. And with the Bone Stock Award, when we present the award for that, we actually have 2 trophies. One goes to the team, and one goes to the manufacturer.
Who have built a vehicle that could come and win this event.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, it doesn't escape me that our TRD Pro Sequoia can qualify for bone stock, as can a Bronco Raptor qualify for bone stock. So there it is what it is, but we still like to award those vehicles that have not been modified. The International Cup would be the highest ranking international team. I think we've just got one this year. And then Team Spirit, and this is a fun one. I think do you guys start surveying for this earlier in the week?
No,
How does
we
that
hand
go?
out the team survey, the Team Spirit surveys right at the end, at the finish
Okay.
line.
Right at the end. Okay, well, that's been fun to chat about that. Let's go look what else Alyssa has for us in Glamis.
All right, we're with the 124 team, and this is Nikki McGee and Ashley Cometer, and this is a fully rookie team. So this is your first Dunes Day here at the Rebelle Rally. What has it been like for each of you so far?
It's definitely a challenge. Just navigating these dunes is tricky, and wanting to stay on heading and just be as precise as possible is definitely the feat here.
And so, Nikki, I know you have a lot of experience driving. You're a stunt woman, but this is a different kind of driving, right? You're trying to drive for your navigator. She's trying to navigate for you. What have you learned already today about your dune driving skills?
Luckily, I've had quite a bit of dune practice over the past year and a half or so. I've been wanting to do the Rebelle for a bit and love sand dunes. So this is actually only the 3rd time I've been in this car, but from us two, it's a lot of communication, trying to figure it out. We haven't had much dune practice together, but we're talking it through.
What is your strategy for the second half of this day?
What is our strategy, Ashley?
Attempt to get as many points as possible.
It's a good strategy, right? There's a lot of points out there no matter what you're going for. So I'm going to let you take off. Good luck with the rest of the day. Team 124, the Desert Dames.
Nikki and Ashley have been having a great time. They had a little bit of a bend in the suspension a few days ago.
Oh,
but,
did they?
But the mechanics got the front tires aligned, and they've just been driving on that. It's been fine ever since.
I'm glad to hear that, because they are always having a good time, and I know it's been years that Nikki has been wanting to be at this event and trying over and over again, and I'm really glad that she was able to make it this year.
Yeah, and she's teamed up with Ashley, who's got some experience in the pilot seat of a Miata on racetracks and stuff. I'm not sure which one of them was at the steering wheel when they did a little suspension rework, but they learned and they're taking it easy on their third seat there and zooming around in the sand. Let's do the Rebelle giveaway. Alyssa tells me she has entered. I have not entered because I don't think it's fair, just for the record. But in our Rebelle giveaway, the ultimate giveaway, you can enter for a chance to win $4,500 and more in Rebelle proven gear. It's not just a set of Pirelli tires.
I want to enter.
Yeah, go for it. So you can see this beautiful setting that teams are going to have to arrive back to tomorrow as we hang out and try to bring you the best that we can. And we're going to jump back down to Alyssa and see what she's got going on.
With the 173 of Gloria Recio and Julia Bigwood. And so we are, what did you just click on? What
We
checkpoint?
haven't clicked on here, so the strategy is come in here and measure from here out to the next one.
And so what checkpoint are you at right now?
We are going to,
I need that. I'm sorry.
where are we going to, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
So you know this is a known point. You're using this to sort of back navigate from. Now I see you parked next to the 116. What is the help of teaming up with another team out here in the dunes?
It just helps to make sure that you guys are safe, right? Driving out here, especially if it's your first time being out in the dunes. It's just good if you get stuck and there's no one around you, you know. It's always best to have someone with you. But they're awesome. They helped us yesterday, and we were just checking on them to make sure they were doing good today.
How much experience do you have driving in the dunes?
Not much, but it's fun. I think after a couple of hours of driving, you kind of feel how the car is, you know, moving, because it's so much different than on rock and dirt road. So we're just going with it. But so far, so good.
What is your strategy once you do click at this second green? What is your strategy for the rest of the day?
What would you say?
Just get as many blues as you can, probably.
Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't stop, because time is of the essence. And out here, that time is going really fast, so you can't drive as fast.
And even if you don't go for those black diamonds, there's a lot of points to be had out here on this course.
Yes.
All right, well, I'll let you guys go. Ladies, good luck with the rest of the day. Thanks, Gloria.
Bye.
Gloria Recio there and Julia Bigwood in 173, just kind of feeling it out, seeing what they can get away with, hunting down checkpoints best they can.
Well, I think that they had a really good point that the greens and the blues hold the mass of the points.
For sure.
Right? And those black diamonds are just small little amounts of points here and there. And so I think that they've got a really good strategy, especially when they don't have that experience that other teams have in the dunes. And so just going for those blues, because it's something that you can see. And being able to drive around, you're getting more experience in the dunes. So getting those blue checkpoints. And I think that if we take a look at the scoring, that we're going to see a lot of people mostly going for blues today. And that those black diamonds, when you don't have any kind of what we call handrails, right, where as you're navigating along, you're driving next to, say, a mountain range, and you can see the topography kind of going in and out, and that's how you know where you are. You don't have that in the dunes. You have to, like Emily was saying earlier, just drive a distance in a heading. And a lot of the teams just don't have that experience. It's something that Emily has a lot of experiences in Morocco. I've had experience doing that in Morocco as well.
With
and so,
Nicole Patel from
with
Total
Nicole
Chaos,
Patel
by the way.
from Total Chaos, and Alyssa. Actually, we were a team one year, and it's a different type of navigation when you are really just trying to stay on heading and drive through the sand dunes. It takes longer and it takes more experience.
Now riddle me this. So if you tell me to go this way, follow this heading, and now suddenly I'm just trying not to get stuck. I'm driving all kinds of curvy. Are you like in the navigator seat just kind of like giving me a hand like in the windshield about which way I need to try to start going to follow that original?
That's exactly it, yeah. So if I was navigating, I would be taking my heading. I just kind of put my eyes on the farthest dune that I could see, and I'd say, okay, this is the dune we're trying to get to. Try to get us there. And as the driver starts to get farther to one side, I'd be like, nope, stay. And I just kind of have this sense of how far over we've gone and how far back we need to go. And you can zigzag kind of back and forth to kind of stay on that heading.
I think what you really answered there for me is it's not just the heading. You use the heading and you pick a dune. And you say, get me to that dune.
Absolutely.
And then, because I was like, how in the world are you going to be able to drive a heading if you don't have an actual target you're going to be able to go to?
Right.
Well, shall we start poking around here and see what we see?
Yeah, I'd love to show you guys the leaderboard here for day 7. So right now I'm on the day 7 scores for X Cross, and even though they don't have as many points available for them today because of the vehicles they're in, this is still a very, very tough day for them. So here we see our leaders down here, number 200. They look like they're farther down today, but that's because they don't have any of these out of order checkpoints. So that's what that blue bar is.
Before we move on, can I point something out really quick?
Yeah.
Your top scoring X-Cross vehicle, 203, Kimberly Carte and Eva de los Santos, they're from Iridium, the Iridium team. They've been kind of living down in 5th or 6th position in X-Cross through the week. And they've gotten the same amount of checkpoints that Kathleen Gardner and Jordan Keith have gotten so far in the day. So it's like, it's great when you see suddenly someone is excelling in a particular challenge.
Right, and you see,
even if they haven't really shown up as much all week.
Look at their, they've got that blue right here, just those 7 points of number 3 that they decided to go for, which was in the dunes. So they had to work for that 7 points right there, and that's really bumped them up. Here, even though they only got 1 out of 5 on that black diamond.
That black diamond and
right.
the 8th checkpoint, that black diamond they got really helped them out also.
It sure did. And so even though they didn't go for this black diamond, getting those blue checkpoints there reliably, they did really great on number 16, though. 7 out of 8 points on that black diamond. That can be very difficult to do.
It's so cool. Susie McBride supports folks from Iridium to get out here, women, obviously. And then just look how fast they're learning.
It's great.
At some point in the week. And the way we learn is like a little bit, a lot, and then pause, growth.
There's no way that they didn't come out and practice in that vehicle in that sand. You can say that they must have. I'd love to hear from them at some point and see, how much they tested their vehicle in the sand.
We've seen a Bronco Sport win the X-Cross in the past. Those things are no slouch.
So from there, I'd love to look at the Group A and Group B. So Group B, while that's a little bit farther down, the teams that in the standings are a little bit farther down, one thing to understand here is that today they have very, very, very similar checkpoints. So even though, most of the time we actually break up the checkpoints and they might, their 5 might be in a little bit different spot than another one, today they're almost all the same. And that goes for tomorrow as well. Tomorrow they're all the same. So the A's and B's are doing exactly the same checkpoints. You're
not going to tell them though, huh?
No, they don't know that.
They don't know that.
No, they don't know that. So here we've got some teams, again, just going and hitting those blue checkpoints really reliably. And I'll tell you, I bet these teams are having a really fun time out there. I'm so happy to see so many of these teams going and driving in the dunes. You guys, this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7X, look at all of these. They are just getting these points, and that is not easy, what they've done here. And you can even see that the ones that went for those X checkpoints are still not quite as high in the rankings because the regulars and just getting the blue checkpoints in the regulars is a reliable idea. That's a good strategy.
So Eliza Coleman and Amy there, we could see that they had skipped.
Oh, yeah.
I know, you were just jumping off there, weren't you? They had skipped 11, 12, 12X, 13, 14. But that's highlighted at the top for a specific reason, right? Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so these checkpoints here up at the top, those are out of order. And let me scroll over here. And those ones are out of order. Oh, I clicked on them. That's my fault.
Yeah, that's no worries. So they're out of order, which means, they don't have to be out of order. You are welcome to achieve those checkpoints out of order.
Right.
And so you may find that you can get certain places from one place easier than you would otherwise. So those you're welcome to get all the way through 20 in whatever order is convenient for you. So we still might see a 12 or a 12X score show up for some of these teams that look like they've already moved past those.
That's right. They'll be able to come back to 11, 12X, any of these, they'll be able to come back to them. The only time that you can't get the scores is that when there's a 12 and a 12X, you still have to make the choice between those two. Even if they're in the out of order, you can't get both of those. They won't both count.
So going over to the A group. So I'm really excited about this because last night, 2nd through 6th were all to play for. It looked like unless Nina and Tara Lynn made a big mistake, no one's probably going to touch them.
That's right, but just a few minutes ago when we started the show, they weren't all the way up here, and you can see that they have a couple more of those out-of-order checkpoints than some of the other teams here. But those other teams are definitely going to go and get those out-of-order checkpoints. They just haven't yet. So I think that right now, you can't know. It's still anyone's game.
I'd like to look at checkpoint 6X. Only 2 teams managed to get that. It was really valuable. Susan Piper and Elise Young were one of the ones that got that. And when I first started looking at this, they were leading overall in the day's scores.
Yeah, they're looking very strong.
Here's some funny thing I know about Susan and Elise. They like to take a proper lunch. They go like hell all morning, and then they do like a long pause and have like a pretty decadent lunch for a little while. Usually, they did last year at least.
Yeah, I mean.
But this is what this looks like. I think they're still finishing lunch.
And that's not a bad idea, to stay fresh. As we saw in those interviews earlier, you could tell that everyone's feeling very rushed, and that can make you rush. But like Tara Lynn and Nina were doing in that in-car, they were taking their time, and they were really, making sure that they were signaling at the right one. There's that 4X that they got on the video. And now they're in the out-of-order checkpoints there, and they're just going to keep plugging along. All of those top teams just taking their time, doing everything that they can to get everything from those blues. You know that those top teams are going to go for all those blue checkpoints in the out-of-order, and hopefully they get a couple of those black diamonds as well.
Yeah. That was such good in-car we had. They had this like lightweight but confirmation communication kind of dance going on between them that just looked like they were having fun. And obviously you're having fun when you're doing well. So these things kind of go hand in hand, don't they? Shelby Hall and Rory Lewis, both with a lot of dunes experience. We're seeing them show up in a strong way here on the leaderboard for the days. We're going to jump down to Alyssa, showing some of the competitors at a checkpoint.
Who does he want to talk to?
If you go wide on Alyssa with these guys in the back, Alyssa, talk to what they're doing.
Okay, go ahead. We're going wide.
All right, giddy up. So what you were just seeing is the 198, the team of the 198. What they were doing is we're here at the green checkpoint, right? And so the green checkpoint, this is green checkpoint 2 or checkpoint 10 on their CP guide. And you're seeing the 201 do the same thing here. So what this is a known point on your map and a known point out in the world for them. So they're able to come to this checkpoint, back navigate into their 8 and 9 checkpoints. So they're using a known point on their map, a known point here in the real world, and they are navigating to checkpoints 8 and 9, and then they are going to return here and click at this checkpoint once they get to checkpoint 10. As Sabrina Howells kept saying, work smarter, not harder.
Awesome. Lots of compass use, headings and plannings down there in Glamis. Well, we're going to go ahead and start winding this thing up here. Let's look at the schedule. We're going to come back to you tonight at 5:30, I believe, is the plan, and bring you the best we can from down in Glamis. Keep an eye on those scores as they will be updating and changing throughout the day. Now, again, remember the teams will not know where they stand at the end of the day today.
They will not.
They will not. They'll basically know by how well they've been doing, how confident they are in their own performance, but they're not going to know how they fit with the other teams there. So, Chrissie, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the screen. We always learn something from your perspective.
Thanks for having me.
It's not exactly what Alyssa and I specialize in. We specialize in bringing all the fun details to everyone checking us out here. This is the Rebelle Rally. It's the 10th anniversary of the Rebelle Rally. We are in Pirate Cove, and we're going to be seeing you later. Thank you very much for the support Total Chaos down in Glamis today, and thank you Toyota for presenting this great live show from the Rebelle Rally 2025.